We have some developing news in regards to free agent defensive end Chase Young. As we know, the San Francisco 49ers traded for the former number 2 overall pick at the deadline for a comp third pick, which turned out to be pick 99, which, of course, the Washington Commanders now own. But it does appear that the San Francisco 49ers are moving on from the Chase Young experience, as it was just reported from Tom Pelissero that Chase Young will be meeting with some teams in free agency. According to Tom, Chase Young will meet with the Carolina Panthers this week, and then he will go to the Saints after that. And I also saw an additional report from Aaron Wilson that a source is telling him that Chase Young will also meet with the Tennessee Titans. So obviously, he doesn't need to meet with the San Francisco 49ers. They know everything they need to know about him. And with that being said, the San Francisco 49ers opted to go get two different edge players in Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross Matos. So that to me is a pretty significant signal that the 49ers have no interest in re-signing Chase Young. So it does appear that that short-lived era has come to an end. Now, I think one of the things that will be very interesting is if he signs, what that potential comp pick will look like in return, because obviously the 49ers gave up a comp pick to get him. So it would be fantastic, to get one in return, right? But when you look at what Chase Young was able to do with the San Francisco 49ers, he was able to put up a decent production. I think when he was inserted into the lineup, we saw the kind of sack production of the whole defensive line go up. And so, but for him specifically, at least according to PFF, who their stats are kind of all over the place, is something that I'm learning throughout this process. They're saying he had 11 sacks in 2023. And I have to fact check that in real time because PFF tripping a little bit. And here we go. ESPN has Chase Young at 7.5 sacks. So quite the discrepancy. And I've noticed this with PFF. So just a thought here. I will now be moving away from using PFF for statistical reference because it apparently is never right. So as it stands right now, Chase Young had 7.5 sacks last year after he was traded for, throughout the entire season. So I think he came under fire with his performance in that one specific play in the Detroit Lions game in the NFC Championship. People questioned his effort. There was questions about his effort when he was originally traded for. So I don't think that helped the perception of Chase Young. But I would say, and I'm curious to know about what you guys feel about this. It feels like most feel he underwhelmed with the San Francisco 49ers. And again, I'm curious to see your thoughts on this in the comments below. He did have a sack in the Super Bowl, and he played pretty well in that particular game. He had a decent with the San Francisco 49ers. It wasn't anything, like we said, that you're banging down the door to make sure you get this guy here. He had a half sack against Baltimore, a half sack against Arizona. He had a sack against Tampa Bay, and he had a half sack against Jacksonville. So he produced all right for the San Francisco 49ers. But I think when they traded for him, it wasn't really what they were hoping for in the long run. So I think that's why you've seen the 49ers move off of that and go somewhere else. And that's why I don't think he will be back. I think the 49ers have signaled to us that that is the move, is that Chase Young is not going to be resigned. And so his best bet is to go elsewhere, and hopefully the 49ers can recoup a comp pick. But man, this defensive line is under heavy construction right now. I know so many people talked about the 49ers offensive line as being the number one need. I hammered home the point that it was defensive line that was the number one need, and we are starting to see why. Javon Kinlaw is gone. He's a Jet. Cleveland Farrell is gone. He's a Commander. It does appear that Chase Young is gone. We don't know what team he will be playing for, but it definitely appears that he will not be returning to the San Francisco 49ers. And then Eric Armstead is set to be released, although we are still awaiting official word on that. But that's a lot of guys to exit a defensive line room. So that's currently where it is. That's currently where it stands. And now I feel like the 49ers have shifted their focus to interior defensive tackle. I think they're solid with the two edge signings that they got on day one of free agency. Now it's trying to figure out how they can put together a plan next to Javon Hargrave, who was their big money addition last year in free agency. And now with Eric Armstead being out, hey, the 49ers need to figure out how they're going to pair someone up with Javon Hargrave. So the early rumors were that it was going to be DJ Jones, but DJ Jones appears that he is still going to be on the Broncos roster. And I think the Broncos have kind of sensed that there might be a market for DJ Jones, because you look at the free agent interior defensive line class, it is brutally thin. And so I think they're seeing that, yes, they want to move off that money from DJ, but they're also seeing there's going to be an instant market for DJ Jones as well the second he's released. So my gut tells me that they are trying to get a trade done with DJ Jones. I do absolutely expect the San Francisco 49ers to be interested in signing DJ Jones. I don't know how interested the 49ers are in acquiring DJ Jones without some contractual hula hoops getting worked through, because I don't think the 49ers want to take on his current deal. So I don't know how that all works out, but it'll be fascinating to see. But at the end of the day, it appears Chase Young is done with the Niners. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's a bad move? Are you regretting the trade? How do you look at the whole situation with Chase Young, how it panned out, and obviously what it appears to be the San Francisco 49ers moving off of him? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.